Pole basi. Sorry is not enough. You guys have heard this enough times. And today we'll be focusing on the art of apology. Welcome to this episode of Mindful Women. My name is Zoe, and I ask that you stay with me up to the end of this. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep engaging me. Let me know what you think about what you're sharing in the comment section, and make sure you let someone know by sharing theirs. So, Wakenya kujeni hapa. Ukigongesha simu ya mtu chini juu ulikuwa umekasirika, kubai simu mwingine, that's not an apology, okay? It's not an apology. Am I loud enough? It's not an apology. Cheating on someone, then taking her on vacation, it's not an apology. Are we together? Insulting someone, then doing a very big shopping for them is not an apology. Out here, we are having a lot of dysfunctional, communication styles, and especially when it comes to apologizing. Sijui ni kiburi, sijui ni ego, I don't know what that is. But sorry is not enough. Also, saying I'm sorry is not enough. Lastly, saying si nilisema sorry jana unataka aje sai is also not an apology. So let us start with this. What is an apology? What is the right apology, and what apology is not? I will start with the latter. What apology is not. As we continue, let us just look at you see, what apology is not blame shifting. Sometimes unajua umefanya makosa. Okay, for instance, maybe I'm having a glass and someone is walking, amenigonga bila kujua, hakuwa intentional, na mimi pia sikutaka kuvunja glass, but huyo mtu amekuja amevunja glass. If someone needs an apology, or if there is okay, let's maybe put it as the owner of the glass, you need to apologize to that person. In as much as you're buying another one, you need to say, I'm sorry. But is sorry enough? Now, shifting the blame inakujaga hapa. You know the reason I broke the glass is because huyu mtu mwingine alikuja kanigonga. That is not an apology. An apology is, I didn't mean to break your glass. We're going to find a way. Wait, I'll hold it there. We're going to come look at what a proper apology is. Also, lack of specificity. Lack of specificity. You need to say what you're sorry for. Usisema tu I'm sorry. For what? You know there is a lot of wickedness happening in the world. There is no way you can just say I'm sorry. Sasa, for what? What part of the wrongs did you participate in? You need to be intentional. And I know these things can be hard for someone who is struggling with pride. Now pride, I hope it doesn't sound so bad, but everyone has a sense of pride. Kadogo, kamali tu. Inahitajiki tu some intentionality. Udil nayo mpaka iende. So when you feel like aki siwezi sema pole. First of all, hiyo si makosa yangu, sijui mbona nasema pole. So you realize you're dealing with something. You don't want to be specific. You're just saying, I'm sorry. The other one, justification. Yeah, I know I did wrong, but there is no other option I had. Sasa wewe ungekuwa mimi ungedu. That is not an apology. If you expect the other person to understand you, learn to communicate by acknowledging what you did. Don't shift the blame. Do not justify it. Don't justify it. Kubali, nilifanya hivyo, nimekosea. Tutaenda kwa what a good apology is. Let's go to a quick way out. I talked about kufanya mtu shopping, kufanya nini, a quick fix. Ndio, tusiongee hiyo story. Like, aki babe, na vile nimekubuy a new latest iPhone. Bado unaniambia mambo ya kucheat last week. Really? Ningekubaia kama singekuwa nakupenda. So, that is not an apology. That is a dysfunctional relationship and a dysfunctional communication style. Another one is silence or insulting apology. Hiyo ni shida yake, kama hivyo ndivyo naona ni shida yake. Mimi siku hizi sina time ya kudeal na pettiness. But I don't know if you guys have realized, when someone wrongs someone, there is a tendency to say yeye ako petty. Wewe ukikosea umekosewa, but huyo mwingine ukimkosea wewe ndio uko, akikukosea wewe ndio uko petty. But ukimkosea, it's a big deal. Does that sound like pride, or what does that sound like? Or selfishness of a kind, So, a true apology does not imply that the other person is overreacting. Usionyeshe like ati wewe ndio uko petty, mimi sijui, maybe you have trauma going on, maybe you had a bad day. No. Whether they had a bad day, whether they have trauma, whether they are normal, whether they are petty, that's fine. Apologize. Shuka chini. Come down from your high horse and say, I'm sorry for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, this is what a genuine apology is. I want us to learn because we want to be sober socially, sober emotionally. Our concern is what is happening in the emotional scenes. With the mental health scenes. Ni kubaya, kuko fiti. Watu wamenyamaza na nikaa walizoea. But it starts from these small things. Emotional intelligence is a big thing. And one of the ways to know someone is emotionally intelligent is how willing are they to correct a past behavior. Because you cannot keep plastering things. You cannot keep sweeping dust under the carpet. You need to make sure things are cleaned up. Oh, we didn't mention silence. Silence is nita-avoid your story mpaka ikose relevance, because sasa siwezi uliza story ya 3 months ago leo, so you just let it slide. That is also not an apology. It's very dysfunctional. So this is what a proper apology is. Let us start from the first part, acknowledging the mistake. Makosa kimefanyika, si ndio? Hatutaki kujua ni ya nani, hata hatutaki kujua ilianzia wapi. Just acknowledge it. Nilifanya hii makosa, ilifanyika. Na even if it was not you like directly and you were in the scene, let's go back to the example of breaking the glass. I'm sorry I broke your glass. Even if you know you didn't like break it, someone else came but it was in your hands. I'm sorry I broke your glass. You get? Acknowledge that there is a glass that got broken and it belonged to someone. They need to hear someone take up the responsibility, and especially if it is you who had it, then they need to know that you are accountable for it. Number 2, express remorse. So unaweza take you can acknowledge the mistake, but now if you're not remorseful, uko like wacha niseme tu ishe. But then this happens a lot even in marriages. Uko like mimi nasemanga pole ishe. So when you're saying pole ishe, then that means it was not a genuine one. It was not a genuine. Unasema ishe ndio kesho ukiulizwa Kikuyu men, hello, mimi sijasema anything. Ndio kesho ukiulizwa useme si tulimaliza mambo jana. Nini hizi uanza kuleta? So what we do, we want someone, just self-reflect. Kaa chini ufikirie, ingekuwa ni wewe kitu kayo ikuhapenie, yenye imehapenia mwenzako. Would you apologize? Would you say I'm sorry? Or would you wait? No, sorry. Would you want someone to apologize to you, or take up the mistake, take up the blame, take accountability for that action? Would you want that? Then if you are the one ndio uko katikati wa hiyo story, then make sure that you're not afraid to say, yes, it happened and I was the one responsible for it. And express remorse. The example of such is like, I feel so bad. I understand why you're upset. Nasikia vibaya, si ati pole ni hivyo. No, it's, I'm sorry I broke your glass. And I understand that it might feel vibaya kwako that your that your glass is broken. So I'm really sorry about that. I feel terrible that I broke it. That is the second part. We are developing the statement, right? The third one is take full responsibility. Whether there was a third party involved or not, uko na gari ya mtu, uko na gari ya kahaya, imegongwa nyuma, the mistake was not yours. Ukirudisha useme by the way sio mtu, mi by the way, I was just nilikuwa kwa lane yangu na sikuwa na speed mbaya na sikupiga emergency, ni yeye. No, just say I'm sorry I got us here and we are gonna find a way around it. Actually, on the repairing part tutafika. I'm going ahead of myself. But then the next one, actually that's where I'm headed. Offer to make amends. It's like suggest ways to repair the damage. You cheated on your partner, okay. You want them back, okay. So let us start from the beginning. I am sorry I did this. I feel really bad that I've hurt you in this way. Useme ni shetani, sio shetani, ni wewe ulicheat. So I did this and I am not happy about myself for doing that. Then the fourth one, that's where we are. Offer to make amends, offer to repair. So you can involve the other person that you are giving an apology to. What can I do to make this better? I know I have damaged something, so it's part of taking accountability, like nini naweza fanya to make sure that we repair this. Sometimes trust. They say trust is like virginity. You get the first one for free, you cannot get the second one. The first one, you just get it there. The second one has to be built, if there is. So what I'm talking about is if you broke someone's trust, if you broke someone's heart, acknowledge that amesikia vibaya na nimeparticipate. So as you apologize, make sure you offer to make amends. Like, ni nini unaweza taka nifanye? Wewe usiende kuleta shopping na ujaitishwa shopping na mtu ati ndio sorry nyamazia, because beshte yako hana shopping. So unajua nilimkosea but nikafanya shopping, hana nguvu ya kuniitisha kuniambia ati nilimkosea. Don't do that. That is toxic. So if you want to give a gift later after you have made the amends or after you have discussed it, then that is very welcome. But make sure you are not dysfunctional. Make sure you are healthy in how you're handling that. Then the last, not the last, maybe second last, let's say commit to change. Commit to change. Okay, I did this. I broke your glass. What am I going to do? Next time, nitatembea na hii glass car imeshika vizuri. Next time, I'll be careful not to go to a wrong place with your car. Next time, I will not hang around the wrong places that cause you pain. Next time, make sure you talk about future. Actually, that closes it. Like, sawa, tumesort past, tumesort present, how we're going to make amends, but about future, what about future? So, because if we don't take care of the future, you're going to make the mistake again and then go through the same process. So you are good with solving and saying a healthy apologies, but you do not have a future. Hakuna kitu na planningi for future. So the question is, if you cheated on me, I don't know why I'm using that example though. If you cheated, what will you do to make sure, number one, that I'm healed, that you gain trust back, those are amends, and then in future, what are you going to do not to do that thing again? But then I'm not a big supporter of people. Why am I saying that? I'm not a big supporter of people being forgiven for cheating. I'm not a supporter. But si mtu ni wako. Mimi niko hapo. Ukitaka forgive, si forgive. Si divorce, by the way, especially in marriage, by the way, don't divorce. Just forgive them. Baby girl, una date mtu hajapeleka mahari amecheat. Unataka kumsamehea? Si ni wako. Si msamehe tu. Mi naongea tu mambo yangu mimi. So just make sure you touch on future. In future, you hurt someone because ulimweka mahali, amekungojea for so long, amekuwa frustrated. Make sure that you say, in future, nitajitayarisha 1 hour earlier. In future, make sure you touch on that. So let us look at this kind of an example. I will read it out. I am so sorry I snapped at you earlier. What is that? Acknowledging. I know my words were hurtful. That is expressing remorse. And I regret saying them, you see? I regret saying them. I was wrong. owning up, taking responsibility. I was wrong to react that way. And I understand why you are upset. I'll try my best not to let it happen again, future. And I'd like to apologize in person to make sure you know how sorry I am. Kusema ukweli, utakosa kusamehewa kweli. There are people out here, unasamehea mtu juu hauna option. Yaani hauna option. Huyu usipomsamehea mtaishi kupigana milele. Mwingine hata apologize. But what did we say? We're trying to have a better world for everybody. So if you think this is helpful for you to develop yourself, to increase your value, to become an elegant person, especially in communication, don't just send long messages. Unaona venye unatumanga zile long messages uko umejam, zile text refu. Look for an opportunity to appreciate someone. Wakati amefanya kitu poa, right now a text that long. Mwambie sasa, this is what you did, it has helped me, or you have made my day. Refusha hizo messages. Sijui mbona vitu poa ndio tunasemanga thanks, you made my day and that was it. But ukijam utarefusha. Na wewe mwenye unakoseana, juu hatutaki pia uandikiwe message refu, so you just try apologize in advance like, hey, I'd like us to talk. I'd like us to talk. But you don't slap someone and then ask them anatengenezwa nails wapi and anafanywa massage wapi you would like to pay. That is not an apology. That is very dysfunctional. So I hope all of us have learned. Na nani nimekosea huko online? If nimekosea, please reach out to me. I'm sure sijakosea mtu. Ama hiyo ni pride. Make sure you let me know if nimekukosea. Or you can share an experience. Probably mtu alikufanyia kitu ama wewe ulifanyia mtu kitu, probably amekunyima hata chance ya kuapologize. You're willing to apologize but huyo mtu ameblock. And then let us work through it. Comment hapo chini so that we work through it, we see what is the best. And then our community, tuko wengi hapa chini tu comment tuseme hiyo situation yako tunaona ikikaa aje. But you're also welcome to come to our inboxes at Mindfull Women on Instagram, at Zoe_music_ on Instagram and Facebook as well. And here on YouTube, keep commenting. So until next time, keep it mindful. I love you all. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.